Travis Van Goodsill. Man, wild night last night. I kept waking up until after 10:30 p.m. having ideas from my dreams about what to add to my email to Judge Waddups this morning. And then at sometime after 2, or was it the 10:31? I think it was the 10:31. I was woken up as if somebody were knocking, and so I got up and put all the notes that I had made on the desk and contemplated starting up the computer. No, I still didn't do anything. Okay, so I'll have to do an updated email today. But yeah, the updated email will include a summary of the core of the case that I petitioned the government for a redress of grievances on 6th of August 2008, and that the church was included in that petition, and so the church turned around, had the government arrest and indict me for terroristic threats using my petition as a weapon of mass destruction. And so, yeah, I'd submit that today with the filing, although he, as a judge, is more than capable of gaining access to the sealed document, as another judge did while I was locked up. And because that's my discovery. Of course I have a copy of it. That's why I have the cause of why the church considers me a threat, all the way back to 1998, when I came to them and said, hey, Joseph Smith is a translator. And they secretly considered me a threat. They put me in a troublemaker file for giving them the documentations of my Paleo-Hebrew decipherment and the vocabulary and the translation testing that I was working on. So the church perceives me as an enemy because I support Joseph Smith. Thus, why recently I have changed the titles of videos to include Team Joseph Smith versus Team Brigham Young. It's because the two organizations are completely different and are enemies, as the Brighamite team murdered, assassinated Joseph Smith and took Team Joseph hostage. Just like Babylon. And that with the false accusation, the discovery informs me that they had no intention of taking me to trial. I was never going to have a defense. They were purposely going to lock me up for the rest of my life, have me disappeared, and they succeeded, and the judge appointed Dr. Cohn, who falsified my history, falsified my medical records, and justified locking me up for the rest of my life. The church, somewhere between her loyalty to the church and last year when I filed my lawsuit against the church, began paying Dr. Cohn for her loyalty. And when I was mistakenly freed, everybody was shocked, but they made sure to keep me under control because they assigned her, the judge assigned her, Dr. Cohn, to continue to report to the courts so that I would always be on probation for the rest of my life, so that I would not be freed. After the third time, however, another doctor stepped in and prevented her from her recommendation to keep me under probation and reporting to the courts, and so his recommendation was adhered to and I was freed from civil commitment. As others also recognized that I don't have what the medical records that were faked by Dr. Cohn indicate. She was being exposed as a fraud, and the church had been paying her. And thus is the basis of my case. Everybody from that action of Dr. Cohn's, with the church paying her for her loyalty in that case that the church turned on me, are all guilty of being co-conspirators. So Bishop Reed Hammond, Bishop Cummins, Mayor Ron Bigelow, Mormon Mayor Ron Bigelow, West Valley City Police, Valley Behavioral Health, the landlord, Karen, my second ex-sister, Karen's sister Joyce, rather. Everybody. And yes, including you YouTube employees who have been whiting out my access to other people's channels, who have been slowed down the processing of my videos, who have been blocking the views on YouTube, forcing the majority of them to come from Google search instead, which apparently the church is unaware of because they also invest in Google, thus YouTube. And so everybody who has a connection to the church, either through investment, whether according to crime organization terminology, a soldier or an associate. Associates are those who are not officially on the books, but get paid behind the scenes for their loyalty. Soldiers are those who are a part of the organization and do all the grunt work. They're the ones that rough people up for the monthly dues. I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. A mistake for doing impressions. That's why I can't do Animal from the Muppet Show anymore. I used to be able to do his voice, but vocal cords won't allow me to do him anymore. So yes, the Godfather's deep Italian accent voice I can't do, as you see. Why? And so, and I'll have to try to keep it short because there's a lot of stuff to put in, I guess, but I mean, it's not a complicated case, and why he's waiting, I hope it's because he's trying to set up arrest warrants. And I hope he's not purposely waiting until September or August 6th on Thursday as an anniversary tribute for me. I appreciate it, but let's just get this over with. You know, that was also the anniversary date of my first wife's divorcing me officially. That was the official date when we were officially divorced, and that was on her birthday. So I'm sure she had a say with her lawyer, as I had no say in my defense on that occasion. So yeah, she really played me, but she was up in Canada. I'm stuck here in Utah. Canada does things differently, as she avoided Utah law by fleeing the country and having my parents and Bishop Lester, the child molester Nielsen, who loved to brag about how he exposed himself to little kids, and laugh about it. That's why I call him the child molester. There are reasons why I call people criminal names. If I call people criminal names, it's not just a fake comment to defame somebody. Alright, we're done for this one. It's going to be an hour for the Mormon to allow the processing of this video anyway. So yeah, I slept until 4 and just got back from my run. Because yeah, I woke up at 2. I don't know if that was because of the knocking or what. I don't think it was. I think I just woke up at 2 and was too tired and can't commit crime. That's the moral of the story, Mormons.